Hello folks, how do you do? Monochrome Ruins here, and for today's whatev weekend video, I decided to throw it back a couple decades and do the 90s tag. So, in honor of celebrating the 90s in this tag, I'm sporting the little half pony, the choker, and my awesome Reptar shirt. So you guys, let's go ahead and get into this. I have 15 questions, all based around the 90s. Some of my answers might go a little into the 2000s, like very early 2000s, but we're just going to accept them anyways. Alright, so here we go. Favorite Disney Channel original movie? I was obsessed with all of the Halloween Town movies. I think there was Halloween Town like 1, 2, and 3. Gosh, I don't even remember the names of them anymore, but those. Absolutely obsessed. Pretty sure I have them floating around somewhere in my house with all my other movies. Favorite music artist? Alright, so I was super into this group called Jump 5. I had every single different version of their CDs that they put out, and my obsession was so strong with this group that I even had this little PC game that was like a movie creator type of thing. So they had the little like computer like CGI, really bad CGI version of these guys that you could put into different backgrounds with like 4 or 5 of their top songs, and I spent way too much time on that game, like obsessed. Favorite Nick Jr. show? Gullah Gullah Island. Hands down, favorite show, watched that all the time on Nick Jr. It was great.
So come and let's play together in the bright sunny weather. Let's all go to Gullah Gullah Island. Gullah Gullah, binya binya.
Oh my gosh, do you guys remember there was this episode of Gullah Gullah Island where Binya Binya Pollywog, who was the little yellow frog, he ran away from home and everybody was so upset, didn't think he was going to come back, and favorite candy? So I really had 2 favorite candies back in the 90s. I loved Dots, and then if I wanted something that was more of a chocolate candy, I loved Kit Kats. Favorite game? So when it came to games, my favorite board game would have been a Monopoly Junior game that I had, but it was this dinosaur version, so you like bought different like dinosaurs and bones and pieces, and I don't know, it was weird, but I loved that board game. And then in terms of school games, I absolutely loved all the times when we would have substitute teachers and we would play Heads Up 7-Up and Red Rover, Red Rover. Favorite McDonald's toy? So I don't know if you guys remember, I'll try to see if I can find a good picture just to insert here on the screen, but there were these little like, they looked like the Disney VHS boxes, and when you opened them up they had one of the little characters inside. So I know that there was like a Bambi one that it looked just like the VHS on the front, had the little Bambi inside. And I think they did like 3 or 4 different runs of these because there was a ton of them, but I absolutely loved those toys. Favorite book? So, my favorite book, hands down, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Like, who doesn't remember that book? The one that had the little trees and dancing. Pretty sure it was some like alphabet book or something, but I loved that book way past the time that I should have loved it. I probably outgrew it years before I stopped reading it. So in terms of favorite book series, I absolutely love the 3 Dumb Bunny books. Does anyone else remember that? It was right around the time when the Captain Underpants books were really big as well, so it might have gotten overshadowed. But yeah, there is a series called The 3 Dumb Bunnies, and it's exactly what you think. Just crazy cartoons of these dumb bunnies, but definitely love that series. Favorite clothing store? So back in the 90s, I really didn't have like a certain like kids clothing store or anything that I shopped at. We kind of just shopped all over for my clothes, mostly at just like department stores. But I believe it was at Walmart, that there was this line of Mary-Kate and Ashley clothes that I owned every single piece of clothing that came out. I wore those things until they fell apart. I was so obsessed with the Olsen twins, and I loved that clothing line way more than was probably necessary. What would you watch when you got home from school? When I got home from school, I would watch whatever cartoons were on Nickelodeon. I loved the Nickelodeon channel. I was always Team Nickelodeon more than Team Cartoon Network. I'm sorry. I know that's offensive to a lot of people. But yeah, whatever was playing on Nickelodeon, that's what I would watch. Favorite TV show? Well, if the shirt's any indication, Rugrats. I loved Rugrats. I watched every single episode so many times. I watched all of the movies they had that came out in theater. I even loved the All Grown Up series when that came out. So yeah, 10 out of 10 Rugrats. Favorite toy? So I had a couple things that I played with a ton in the 90s. The first thing was my Bitty Baby doll. It was basically just the baby doll version of an American Girl doll. I got it from my grandparents when I was 3 years old, and I had so many clothes and accessories for that thing. It was ridiculous. But yes, I absolutely loved my Bitty Baby doll. And then the other toy that I was super obsessed with was I had an inflatable ball pit. But yeah, like, you know when you went to like McDonald's or Burger King or wherever when they had the little like play places with the ball pits? Just like that, except I had one at my house. Favorite commercial? 3 words for you. Nickelodeon magazine, please. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. So believe it or not, I really wasn't into either of them growing up. I knew a lot of people who had the little like hit clips of them with like the little like 15 seconds of the songs, but I really didn't like either of them. Like I listened to both of them whenever it would pop up, but I didn't have a favorite. Weirdest fashion trend? So this was something that myself and all of the neighbor kids that I had around, we did this every summer all the time, but taking a visor and wearing it backwards, which does absolutely nothing to protect you from the sun or anything like that. But yes, wearing visors backwards, I don't know why that was such a big trend, but that was probably the weirdest that I remember. Favorite collectible? Gel pens. Oh my gosh, gel pens were such a big deal. Especially in around like 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. So many people would bring in their collections and we'd swap them and play with them. And it was not uncommon at all when it came for lunchtime to have to just scrub just this rainbow spew off of your hands from all the different gel pens that we were trying out. And I still think those write better than any other pen I've ever found. I don't know why we don't bring these things back. We need to bring back gel pens. Favorite Beanie Baby? So, I received this little, just a basic brown bear in 1st grade at the end of the year, and I believe it was for having like a perfect green card all year for, you know, good behavior, stuff like that. And I still to this day have that bear, and yeah, that has to be my favorite Beanie Baby by far. How many Tamagotchis did you go through? So, believe it or not, I didn't actually have a Tamagotchi as I was growing up. I don't remember that being a super big phase that hit my school or anything, and I just didn't have one. But I did have one of the little, like, keychain versions that came from McDonald's, so I would carry that around and act like I had one, but I didn't actually have any real Tamagotchis. Favorite game system and game? So, the very first game system I ever had was a Game Boy Color. I had that, the Game Boy Advance, and the Game Boy Advance SD. So, those are my first and favorite, you know, consoles, systems, whatever. And my favorite games for those, I probably have like a top 3 for that. I loved the Mary-Kate and Ashley game, Get a Clue. I had all of their games, but that was my favorite. I also really loved the Sabrina the Teenage Witch game. I don't remember what it was called, but I know I played that one a ton. And then my third favorite game was The Grinch. So it was based around the Grinch, obviously, from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And there were different levels where we went around trying to steal all the presents through Whoville, and yeah, that was probably one of my favorite games. Alright guys, so that is it for this tag video, the 90s tag. Pretty sure I said at the beginning there were 15 questions, and there were definitely 18, so I can't count. But hey, 3 extra questions than you were expecting, nothing wrong with that. So anyways, you guys, I hope you liked this video. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and bid you all farewell. Thank you kindly for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. Laters.